Welcome everybody to our inaugural Thought Leaders series event, and I will be welcoming Nicholas Gruen shortly, but I thought you might like a little bit of context for those of you who don't know everything that there is to know about the Smart Cities Research Institute. I'm Mark Burry, I'm the director of the Institute, and we have been going for almost 2 years. We were inaugurated on June the 7th in 2017. And smart cities is quite an interesting topic. We had a session before this where we had all the leaders together just talking about where we're going as an institute. And I was saying how when I came, smart cities was pretty close to being a buzzword. And I thought it might be problematic if you're saying you're the director of the Smart Cities Research Institute. But it is in a way, because people they've heard it. It could be a cliche, it could be buzzword, it could be so vague as not be particularly definable. And that actually works quite well for a certain audience. And for the rest of the people who are tired of the buzzword aspect, it's quite easy. You say, well, actually, it's about urban futures. And the future of our cities is, we know that it's presenting a number of challenges, and we also know that one way or another we're going to be using technology for the best, we hope, and that's what we're researching. And that of course means cities will be smart. So a Smart Cities Research Institute for us is a big space to be in, and this is my diagram to explain why would a university host an Institute of Smart Cities rather than why wouldn't you just leave it with the consultants outside the university, the private entities. And the reason is that the university is the last bastion for a kind of liberal take on anything. You can hear our guests sniggering already, I think. That might be cynical, but I'm going to say this. It is the last bastion for a very wide conversation, and I use the word conversation advisedly because I hope that will come up later in the talk. I suspect it might. It's a conversation that is fueled by people who don't have too much self-interest other than their intellectual pursuits. They're not being paid to say something for any reason. They're not being forced to follow any particular trajectory. They're there because they are fundamentally interested in that particular thing that they're interested in. So this diagram here shows that if you take, say, a typical institution might have 5 faculties, this is what's shown here. Each one of those layers is the pecking order in terms of your experience, rather than saying seniority. So the people at the bottom of these cones are your undergraduates, and they go all the way up through to the top, which is your professoriate and your distinguished researchers. And each one of those faculties is composed of a number of disciplines, and on paper they talk to each other. That's the whole point of being in the university, you can talk to each other, but we all know that the silos are there. But that's not to say that it's not hopeless, it's actually just waiting to be unpacked. And that's why research institutes like ours are a wonderful opportunity for a university to unlock its intellectual goods in a lateral rather than a linear way. And so that's what we're doing. We're looking at 4 areas. The future urban decision makers. That's can we harness real-time information? Can we process it in real time and inform decisions in real time rather than saying all the time, I'll get back to you. The future urban mobility is a no-brainer. There's so many changes. We heard from Professor Hussein Deer, who leads the future urban mobility program, that some say that we'll have aerial taxis in Melbourne in 5 years' time. And who's doing the thinking about that? The smart cities for living, it's really thinking about where we live and how we work in the future. We know this is changing already. All those of us, my generation, who've got kids who are now in their 20s, finding their way through the work scene, they're already in a different world than, at least that's our experience, than the one we went through. And then there's the future urban transport, future urban infrastructure. Again, a no-brainer. We have to really think about what we're doing about water and waste and all the rest. So in a nutshell, our institute is this. It's tiny. But it's tiny not in terms of soul or heart or income or anything. It's just tiny in terms of the big picture, because it's a nucleus to get stuff to happen. So we've got these 4 programs. I just talked about giving you a brief summary of all 4, but if you take future urban mobility, for instance, that program is one of 4. It hosts 3 streams, each with a leader, and each of those streams hosts a number of themes, each with a leader. So when you look at one of the programs, you get this. Each one of those dots represents a major thought leader in a discipline. And these disciplines aren't sort of refined down to somebody who's interested in a particular peptide. These are subject areas like building information modeling, city information modeling, circular economy. These are all themes within our institute. And when you actually put them all together, you get this. So if you've got a take-home image from my part of the talk, which is introducing you to the Institute and its thought leadership, it will be this. This is what the Institute is. It's a series of, it's a collection of people, each of whom are thought leaders, who are people that anybody who's interested in the city from outside the university can come to and say, I need someone who really knows about recycling waste. What are we going to do about plastics? In that group, there'll be somebody who is an expert with international standing. So that's what a research institute is. That's how it succeeds. It gets across the whole university. And we want this thought leadership opportunity to be our mark. Not that we're going to be doing consultancy and trying to compete with the big 4 or the engineering companies, all those people who have really got skin in the game. We want to be a place where those people can come and say, I wonder if you've got some additional expertise that we can take advantage of. So that's why we're having a Thought Leaders series, because we need to be seen as thought leaders. And we want people like our guest, Nicholas Gruen, to come and show us how it's done. So I'm going to cut off now, because I've got more slides I could have shown. You can see them very quickly as I span through them. But these will be on our website, so you can bone up later and introduce Nicholas, who's going to talk to us about the public goods of the 21st century.